Welcome back to Midranges Disc Golf. Today we have another Patreon-sponsored Bag It or Bin It, where my patron asked for 2 different discs to be reviewed, but then I added in a third, and the 2 discs already were semi-different, and the third one I just looked up the numbers and it feels similar, but the numbers say it's not. So we're gonna have to test that out and see. The 2 that he requested were the Gateway Element as well as the Lone Star BB6. The Gateway Element is 5.5 -1.1. The BB6 is 5.5 -2.1, so just a touch down in stability. I have thrown this before, but this is the Alpha plastic. Feels very good. I threw it in the Bravo plastic, and this is much more what I prefer. Kind of like if you were to mix an ESP and just make it like more premium. I don't know how to say that, but it feels very good, but it feels a lot tackier than ESP. And then this is in the Metal Flake plastic from Gateway, which also feels very good, but you can definitely tell that there is a difference if you just looked at the profiles of them, because this is pretty blunt here and then quite rounded and then it kind of drops off. This one is a little bit more bladed at the edge and then has a little bit of a bead. And the third disc that we're going to be reviewing with it is the Hooligan Discs First Run Flip. Now this feels very similar to a BB6. It's not, and I thought they were, because Hooligan is manufactured alongside Lone Star, and a couple other molds are just rebranded Lone Star molds, but the Flip is actually their first mold that is just their own. They feel similar because they both are very they feel shallow this way, so there's not a lot of depth to them there. But if you look at the profiles, they're definitely different. This one definitely is a little bit more bladed, and this is blunter along the top, which probably makes it less stable, but this looks like it's gonna cut through the air a little bit. Yeah, I imagine this is gonna be slightly more understable. We're definitely gonna have to check it out and see. We're gonna play 5 holes here. And if I can't beat par with any of these discs, they're going to my patron who requested the Bag It or Bin It. We're at UCF Disc Golf Course, starting on hole number 6. And we should get a good idea of kind of what is the best beginner or starter mid-range from one of these underrepresented companies. And Gateway's been around for a while. Hooligan Disc is new, but these are all kind of underrepresented in the market. You wouldn't know that with all the Ranger stuff that just came out with Lone Star, but I want to see which one of these is kind of the best beginner style mid-range. So we're starting out with a 250-foot straight shot. It's gonna be kind of interesting because I'm gonna probably have to adjust my throw slightly because I want to throw the best shot for the hole. And by throwing the best shot for the hole, I'll be able to tell you what I think about each of these discs and maybe even how they compare to other things. But the BB6 feels the smallest. Like, it looks and feels smaller than the Flip. So I would say the BB6 is probably more of a 4-speed than a 5-speed. I think on Lone Star's website they call it that, but I looked at it on Infinite and they called it a 5-speed, but it feels more like a 4-speed than a 5-speed. Definitely probably a little bit of hyzer. Not a crazy amount, but basket straight ahead of us, straight through that gap. Whew, this is gonna be interesting. First shot go in. Oh, first shot hit the tree. That's tight because that means you actually have to hug that left side. I thought the tree that I hyzered past and then that tree were like a straight gap. They're not. And we have a wind pushing us down that way. So Flip is up next. Ooh, I want to see how much flippier this guy is. I'm going to throw up probably similar amount of hyzer just on the left side and see if it drifts. That'll be fine. I threw that a little harder. That's going to be up there for a putt. Garrett was talking that disc up, and I like discs that either are flippy or aren't. I like something that's really stable. So it's gonna be straight and it's gonna have a little finish. And I like discs that are gonna flip and turn over for me. The in-betweens are kind of where I'm a little bit, I don't like that as much. Probably gonna have to put a little bit of anhyzer on it, but not a crazy amount. Get around that tree. That was such a good looking shot if it missed that tree. I'm gonna try one more real fast just on this hole because I have my bag here for a video I'm gonna film after this. But this is my Opto Fuse, 5.6 -1.0. It's what I have bagged in the slot of the BB6 and or the Flip probably closer to Paradox, but it didn't quite seem even that flippy when it was pretty flippy. The Fuse is very similar numbers, 5.6 -1.0, but it's deeper than the BB6 and the Flip. And so that makes it a little less comfortable for my little baby hands. And it's a little more stable, I think, than numbers suggest. No, it's not. Never mind. I'm dumb. All right, that's a really good shot with the Fuse. That's like 4 feet for the basket. The Gateway Element is definitely not as overstable as I thought. It's definitely a little flippier because it held that turn for a while. I could have trusted a little bit more. I thought it was going to start fading back. That's good to know. These are all straight flyers, point and shoot. We're just going to have to figure out which one might be best for each arm speed. I think we're going to go anhyzer through this gap because we could go hyzer, but the only problem with that is, first off, it's a little tighter, and second off, with something that is going to stable out, especially if you throw it slow enough, that's really good speed control to get it kind of down towards the base of the basket and match the slope of the ground so you don't have weird skips that you have to worry about. We're going? No, but that's exactly what I was talking about. All right, the BB6 just got sat down. Straight up. Ooh, that's a jump putt range. Oh, I thought I'd push it more. All right, Flip here. The other 2 are just kind of chilling in the palmetto for the birdie. I like that Flip. I'm excited to throw it more. And the fuse would have been a birdie, but it's not because we're not putting it out because I'm a little salty that was a perfect shot. All right, hole 2. All right, hole number 8 is a really good hole, which is our second hole. It is 94 yards, straight up the gut here. Also, I don't know why they would put yards. That's such a weird thing to put. Maybe because of golf, but 288. Flip has the box, which I think is gonna be easy to hit the gap, but, and this is something that I've struggled with a while, and something I'm trying to just get my head around is I don't have to park the basket. If I put it 20 feet somewhere, I'm making that putt. So I can think about, I don't need it to finish back at the basket. I just need to have the right speed control and keep it to the right side. It doesn't have to finish all the way back, but if it's like within 15, 20 feet, that's essentially a park job. Do have some wind pushing us this way, which actually is gonna help it. We're gonna have to keep it low, driven, low ceiling here at the very start too. All right, this is gonna be interesting. Oh, that's definitely a slow disc. Like it's probably like a 4.5 speed because I thought that was a little bit further down. That does have late flip, which is really nice. Like that's probably a pretty direct replacement of what I like my fuse to do for me because my fuse is a little touchier than I want. It's kind of in that middle stability range. That disc is a little flippier, which helps me to throw it on more hyzer and trust it'll get up to flat. And it does have late turn, which I really like. Just is not gonna get back unless you throw it pretty soft. BB6 is up next. I think that same exact shot with the BB6 parks this basket. Maybe not. That's a very straight disc. That might be more similar to the Element that I gave it credit for. We'll have to see, because the wind might have also affected that a little bit. That is very similar to the BB6. I think the BB6 is a 4-speed version, or equivalent or similar to the Element. I do slightly remember the Bravo plastic, which I initially had when Lone Star, they were the first company to ever send me out discs. I really appreciate them for that. Definitely will remember that forever. But they sent me out their stuff and I had Bravo plastic. My sister has it right now because I gave her most of my Lone Star stuff. Like she could be on the Ranger team, honestly. The Bravo one I think is a little flippier than the Alpha one. And I prefer the Alpha plastic anyways, feel-wise. Bravo's a little gummier. That's a little more stable than I remembered, so I'm gonna have to take that into account. What the heck? That sucks. Oh, dude, that sucks so bad. So that's had to have come in right along here, and they were very similar shots. I threw the Element a little bit flatter, so it's definitely more stable. Come on, that one's actually touching land. The Element is safe. BB6 is right in the middle though. Also, in case you ever wonder what kind of equipment and stuff I'm using, I have all that always linked in my descriptions with affiliate links, just in case, even if you're just buying discs from some retailers or you're looking for a bag. If you go through my links, it'll help to support the channel and my touring efforts, because if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. But my main goal is to cash at a Pro Tour event, so that's what that helps with. Low. Come on, Anthony. I hate bogeys so much. Oh, that's so high. Oh, that's a mid-range. That's glidey. Oh my gosh, that basket is leaning. I thought that wasn't gonna catch because the basket is so, like the basket should be here, but it's not. Oh, flip is actually up. It's somehow still up here. Oh, and I got burrs all over myself now. Couldn't even Isaac Robinson it. Now I could. Come on, Anthony. Second guy's making everything today. All right, our third hole here, 250 yards, not 250 yards, 250 feet. Or there's just a hyzer route, but the best route is either a hyzer forehand or just a backhand turnover, which is kind of perfect for these because the wind is also pushing us this way. So they should all want to move slightly to the right. This plastic looks so cool. So no, the flip has the box, then the Element, and then my freaking bogey with the BB6. But let's get a star frame here, get us back to even. 2 more holes to get 1 birdie with everybody. So far, only the flip is staying with me. And let the palm fronds settle it down next to the basket. Man, I never trust how wide I have to put those. Element, I'm gonna have to put on some more and hyzer. Sit. Ah, it's not great. It was a little lower, so the wind didn't really get under the flight plate to push it over. And it's not as understable of a disc, so I needed to put it higher on that line. I think BB6 on that line is good, or slightly more inside. No, that disc is more stable. I really expected that thing to just continue. That did not want to continue on turn. Like, I feel like that's more of a -1-1. Maybe I just didn't throw it hard enough. Maybe, it was slightly nose up. I thought it was understable enough to compensate for that, but I guess I'm just wrong on that. I thought out of my hand that BB6 was perfect. Oh, I can't even see the basket from here. Oh, no, I don't even have a putt again. I have to friggin' forehand and hyzer this Element again. Go in, come on. Dang it, such good height. It's helpful to see baskets when you're putting, just in case you're one of the many people who wonder if you want to look at something when you're throwing at it. It's a little lazy there. I need birdie from that BB6. And I need 1 birdie from the element, otherwise they're gone. No! So I don't make the rules. This is hole number 10. It's only like 180 feet. I was gonna be really nice to myself and just be like, oh, just take this little hyzer route. Everything should be within 15 feet on a 180-foot hole. But we're gonna try to throw all these on the forehand. I'll just see how they do. Our wind is pushing a little bit tail left to right, so that should actually help the forehand keep it stable. But we have to miss these trees, basically go in this big gap and then get either side of that tree that's in the middle there. Probably on the inside because these are all not gonna be super overstable, so you're not gonna really have hard skips. Slip is up first though. That thing I gotta get way over, knock it on some hyzer. Get either side of it. Oh, barely, go in. Oh, I'm having a good time with that disc right now. Element is up next. Don't throw it so baby, dude. That's what happens when you focus on, hey, I'm throwing a mid-range, so I need to throw it soft, and instead of throwing it slow, you just don't commit and then you go, ah. So with those sound effects too. Actually gotta make sure I commit here because I need to birdie with the BB6. There it is, Anthony. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Let's go. Commit to your shots. Just a little circle 2 with the element. I don't think I've made a single circle 2 putt in either of the 2 videos that I filmed so far today. So it's about time that changes. No, I'm not committing to those either. I'm just yanking up my arm instead of actually just committing through the shot. All right, element needs the next hole in order to get under par. Welcome to Flip City, Florida, baby. Oh. I did just have my first lift yesterday, and I need to focus more on my form and timing. My body is sore. Sheesh, Anthony, sheesh. Hey, it's all good. They got strokes. BB6 would be kind of hard to miss this, even with how short I am. Jason, even that's not a foot fault, okay? Jay Pickmo all over these YouTube comments calling out everybody's foot faults, even when I don't even play disc golf in the video. Barring catastrophe, Flip is safe. And honestly, this should be a must-get hole right here because it looks like it's only like 290 feet, 280 feet, maybe honestly only like 270, slightly downhill. Any way you want to get there. So we're taking the straight route. Oh, I need to pick up the element because I threw it into the freaking palm fronds. I think though, probably the right shot is just a little. No, it's not. All right, we need the BB6 and the element to get the birdie. BB6, I mean, it's not as understable as I thought, so I think putting it on some slight hyzer, just letting the disc kind of ride that hyzer will be really nice. I slipped, and that is so far. Oh, that's a good tree. I slipped right here. The tee pad goes down. Flip's up next. I think we're just gonna go straight to turn. Let it do the work. That was not far away from that ace call, I'll tell you what. Holy cow. I got a new buddy in that disc. That disc does what I want it to do. This one's slightly stable. I think that same BB6 line is really good if I actually hit it, and which is just slightly more inside, just riding the hyzer. This one might ride a little more flat though. Yeah, good job. All right, let's see about a star frame. I want to keep those discs, man. So I gotta focus on my mechanics. If you watched the last Baggett or Bennett that I filmed just before this, there was also a putt to save a disc. We won't say what happened there. We won't even think about what happened there. You know what would have helped? We're not thinking about that. We're not even marking it. You are joking me right now. That sucks. That's stupid, out of bounds. That shouldn't have been out of bounds, but it was out of bounds. Oh my gosh, that almost tried to slip out the back. You see that? Now for the flips today, Easy. See, that'll sneak over the edge. What's up with that, BB6? Why won't you do the same for me, okay? All right, well, my patron who requested this is getting a BB6. Honestly, I would say for all these discs, Baggett, like they're all really good. They're just slightly different stabilities. I would say the most stable, this is a pure, would have to be the Element. Maybe because it's metal flake plastic, and I know that tends to make things more overstable, but I would say that this flies pretty true to 5.5, -1, 1. I'd say that in the Alpha plastic, the BB6 is more of a 5.5, -1.51. It's not quite -2, I don't think. Bravo plastic, definitely more so. I'm not exactly sure about Lima or the Glow plastic. Solid disc. I would say all these are 100% Baggett discs. Really good discs come out of all these companies. This one might actually make my bag though. 5 holes doesn't tell me everything I need to know, but it tells me enough to know that this is probably gonna make a rotation. If you want to be my boss for a day and tell me which disc to review, you can join my Patreon, 3rd tier, you get access to do that. Otherwise, please subscribe, like the video. If you wanna see the last Patreon sponsored Baggett or Bennett, it was for a Discraft disc, and I think I finally found one that I really like. Check it out right up here, really solid. I was kind of surprised because you kind of think about it as a starter disc, but I did not think about it like that at all by the time that I was done with it. Okay, love you, bye.